We lost £21,354 from one single rent-to-rent deal. We made a dangerous mistake that most people make and they're not even aware of it. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly what this dangerous mistake was, why it happened, and how you can go about avoiding it entirely. So let's set the stage. It was about early December 2024. I had just got together with my business partner a couple of months before, and we were moving very fast. So we thought, you know what? Let's just use a deal sourcer. Let's pay someone to find us a deal. It will save us time. Yeah, we're spending a bit of money, but it will allow us to move with more speed. Logically, makes sense. Now, we came across this one deal sourcer through a WhatsApp group chat, and he actually sent us across a deal in Chelsea. And this deal right here was marvelous. I mean, it ticked all the boxes. It was luxury, high end, location was amazing, the building it was in was beautiful. And I mean, Chelsea is also going to attract a certain caliber of person because it is that high quality area, meaning people with money. On top of that, when we did our research, we can see the competition in the area with the same property was charging anywhere between £500 to £600 per night. Massive no-brainer. So I gave a heads up to the deal sourcer that, look, we want to arrange a viewing for this place, which he did. He arranged it for us. And we went there straight the next day. And when I tell you the place looked even more beautiful in person, I mean, it was, again, marvelous. Now, the rent itself was about £5,000. It was a 2-bedroom apartment. And I grabbed the deal source. I said, look, we're trying to secure this place today. Make sure you end all viewings. We're putting a deposit down. So now that was done, we secured it. We're now going through the process of actually formalizing everything. And of course, we wanted to make sure that we did our checks on our side. And one of the questions I actually asked this specific deal sourcer was, hey, by the way, do you know if this building actually allows short lets? Because it's pretty common that a lot of these buildings, especially in these nicer areas, they have restrictions on anyone looking to do Airbnb. So I made sure I double checked that. And he actually came back to me and said, yeah, it's not a problem. I spoke to the landlord. He actually knows quite a few people that have done Airbnb in this building. So it's pretty good to go. Fully secured the deal. I ended up paying the first month's rent. We negotiated not to pay a deposit. We had to get the place fully furnished, fully set up. Also paid the sourcer his fee as well, which was £5,000 for that deal. All in total, everything came to £21,354 that we spent on that specific deal right there. And to be fair, we started doing our thing straight away. People were booking it, we were getting good reviews, and we were building some serious traction with this place right here. But then something happened. The landlord actually reached out to me about around a month and a half later, and he told me that, hey, I'd actually just found out that this building itself doesn't actually allow anyone to do Airbnb. He got an email from the building managers letting him know that he couldn't do that, and he passed it on to me. But then in my head, I thought, wait, hold on, you told me, or I got the word that this building actually did allow Airbnb. I spoke to the deal sourcer, he said he spoke to you, he told me that you said it was okay, and it actually did allow it. And then he said, yeah, this is what I thought, because I saw other people doing Airbnb in this building, so I just assumed it was okay, but now I've just found out you can't do it, so you're gonna have to stop doing what you're doing. And I remember just thinking, what? Are you being for real? Like, we just invested 21K into this property for you to come back to me a month and a half later to tell me I can't do it anymore. And then after I said that, I just went quiet. I didn't say anything because I was just taking it all in. I just couldn't believe it. And the landlord, he was like, oh, okay. He didn't even know what to say. And then I just realized at that point that, yeah, I fucked up, man. I genuinely fucked up. What I did later on is I actually contacted the deal sourcer. So I gave him a call about 20 minutes later. He picked up and I told him, I said, look, the deal that you sold me, the deal that you told me that the building allowed short lets, I just found out that it doesn't allow short lets, and these lot are telling me I need to stop doing what I'm doing. And this was a deal that I paid you £5,000 for. And now I'm in the hole. And it was only after the third time I tried to reach out to him that he did not answer that I realized, wow, I just got robbed. I just got taken for a ride, basically. And that was the last time that I'd ever heard from that deal sourcer ever again. The reason why I'm sharing this right now is because I did not realize at the time, not to say just how common this is, but just how dubious and foul the property sourcing game is. But you know what? Cool. I told myself from that point on, never again. I'll be damned if I end up slipping up like that ever again. So from that experience, we made sure that we were being extremely thorough with the level of detail that went into researching these properties, making sure everything was legit and correct paperwork wise before we even dared to take on any properties. And we'd analyzed and filtered through so many different deals. And from that, we were able to actually develop our own internal checklist, to where these deals, if they don't tick these boxes right here, we're not taking them on. First and foremost, and this is an obvious one, is does the lease on the building actually allow it? And not just that as well, getting proof that the lease on the building allows it, and never taking either the landlord's word or flipping definitely not a deal source's word. Like, I want that shit on paper, signed, confirmed from the developer himself that it's all good. And another thing that we're checking for is this landlord right here. Is he actually the real landlord, or is he just faking it, pretending to be the landlord? And how I know this is I've had first-hand experience with this. We had one property in Fulham that we were looking to take on a rent-to-rent agreement. So this guy claimed to have this 2-bedroom apartment in Fulham, and we've got a few properties over there, so we know that area works very well. So we went to go check it out on the viewing, and there was a bunch of other people there on that viewing as well. There's probably about 7 other people on that viewing, and he actually told us that, look, if you're interested, you can put a deposit right now and we'll secure it for you. You know what, I got some funky vibes from this landlord, but after doing some research and checking Land Registry, which is a platform that you can go on to actually see who the property owner is of any property if you pay like a little £3 fee, I thought, you know what, let me just jump on Airbnb to see if this property is listed over there. So I jumped on Airbnb, I started looking for places in Fulham, and what do you know, I find this exact same place on Airbnb. And then I messaged the host. I said, look, we are actually looking to rent your property. We actually viewed it. I just want to confirm that you guys are like, you know about this and everything's above board. To which they got back to us and said, no, we're not renting this property out long term. That wasn't us that you carried out the viewing with. That must have been one of the guests that was staying there. And then I was like, oh, okay. And unfortunately, from what I heard, this guy actually collected a few deposits from a few other people, and he just left out. So we always make sure we're double checking Land Registry to confirm that we're dealing with the main man himself. Now, look, I say that to say, if you are someone that is looking to get involved in rent-to-rent spot, you're looking to take a more hands-off approach, meaning you're looking for someone to, not only source the property for you, not only set up for you as well, but to also manage it on your behalf, we can most certainly help you do this. Check the link somewhere around this video, maybe down below in the description box. You'll find out more information about that. Another thing we have a part of our internal checklist is knowing whether the landlord is looking to sell the property or not. And the reason why is because we actually had this experience with one of our properties where we taken it on a rent-to-rent agreement. It was a good property, but then the landlord wanted to take the property back, I would say a year and 2 months into it, because they were actually looking to sell the property. And it was just a massive ball ache and headache we were going through with the landlord. So because of that, if we now know before taking on a property that this landlord is looking to sell in the next 1 to 2 years, then we probably wouldn't take on that property. So those right there are just a few examples of what's contained in our internal checklist. If you want access to the full checklist where, we make sure that each property has to go through before we consider taking it on, I've actually left a link in the description box for you to access this. It's completely free. And again, we use this for ourselves, and yeah, you're welcome. And as we started taking on more and more properties, we also started taking on properties on behalf of other people that weren't really managing it the best, to be fair. And over time, we started actually finding properties for people on a property sourcing basis, but also managing it for them as well. So we don't just sell deals to people, we actually find deals for people, but then we also manage it on their behalf too. And for us, it just made more sense to do it that way, because any properties that we take on, we're quite confident that we can do quite well from it. But then from going through that whole process and actually working with quite a lot of investors, I'd actually realized that, wow, most people struggle when it comes to making Airbnb work. Because we've had people come to us that A, couldn't make their properties work because they try and manage it themselves, or B, they had another management company managing it for them, but they were doing a poor job. And then when this happens, you hear a lot of people say, the market is saturated, there's too many people doing Airbnb, and because of that, it makes it a lot harder. And to be fair, they are right. Let me break it down to you. What most people don't know is that when it comes to the whole Airbnb sphere, there's 4 levels to this. And when you start to understand this, you'll realize why most people struggle and don't really do too well with this. Let's start off with level 1, which I call the side hustler level. This is a level that a landlord that owns a property, he actually lives in the property himself, but occasionally he puts on Airbnb when he's going away or going on holiday, whatever the case may be. And I would say 20% of people that actually do Airbnb are on this level right here, the basic level. And then you have level 2. This is what we call the average level. This right here is the danger zone. And 7 out of 10 people that actually, do Airbnb are actually on this level right here. Now, these guys, all of them have good intentions. They want to start an Airbnb business and they want to make good money from it, and they try their best to do just that. They find a property, maybe they have a handful of properties that they're managing in pretty good locations. They set up quite nicely and now they're managing it, but they're not making the money that they actually thought at the start they'd make. They're actually making a lot less. But why is that? Well, I'll tell you why. A lot of these guys, they think it's as easy as getting a property, making it look real nice, put on Airbnb and waiting for all the bookings to come in. It simply does not work like that. It's a lot of small things that you have to get right from the start and also throughout that can allow you to have your property be booked up and have it produce you a nice profit. For example, when it comes to how they're managing the property, a lot of the times they don't do the best job having their cleaners come in to actually clean the place. A lot of the times they're trying to cut down on costs and not spend too much on cleaners, but when cleaners go in to actually clean it, they're not doing the best of jobs. And because of that, it's affecting the guest's experience. Guests are complaining, they're leaving bad reviews. When they leave a bad review, other people see it, so they don't end up booking that property. They don't have the right systems, process in place, fully dialed in. And when it comes to the marketing as well, a lot of the times, they just rely on Airbnb and booking.com. They're not doing anything beyond that. But nonetheless, there is a higher level. And this is where we come to level 3. This level right here is where the top 9% of operators actually operate from. And with this level right here, it's pretty much the complete opposite of level 2 in every way. Not only have they taken on the right properties in the right locations and they've set up correctly as well, but they're also managing the operations very nicely as well. They have the right team in place. They have the right systems and processes. They've got their marketing fully dialed in so that they're not just relying on Airbnb and booking.com, but they have people going to them directly to book with them, which allows them to make a lot more money. And also they're heavily focused on improving the guest's experience, which is massive. And because of that, they end up doing very well. And I'm going to be honest with you, this is the level that we're at. I'll give you an example as well. We've got a 4-bedroom apartment in South London, Lewisham actually. Very nice, very modern apartment. We spent very good money on this specific deal right here. This property right here stays booked up. It's very hard to actually find an empty slot for this place right here. And the reason for that is simple. We just make sure that we have our marketing dialed in, but also we make sure that we deliver guests an excellent experience when they stay in our properties. And then we move on to level 4. Now, this level right here is what we call the ultra high-end level. This level right here is in a completely different universe. This is where the top 1% operators live, and the types of properties that these guys have would be either mansions or ultra luxury properties in Zone 1, Central London. But now that we're looking back at all 4 levels of the Airbnb sphere, and we can see that literally 7 out of 10 of these guys live in level 2, you start to understand why most people struggle with this business. If you're someone that's on level 1 or level 2, that is a level that is saturated. You're competing against so many other people. You're gonna have to compete on price, and you're just gonna struggle and not make that much money. It's only at level 3 and above that allows you to make good money, but you are required to operate a certain type of way. Now look, I'm not trying to toot our own horn or anything, but I genuinely believe that because we operate the way we operate, we are able to do pretty well with the properties and the Airbnbs that we have. Like once upon a time at the start, we would have been like, oh, let's take on as many properties as possible. And honestly, when we shifted our focus and our mindset to quality rather than quantity, things started improving drastically. Our places started to make a lot more money, which allowed us to source properties for investors and actually manage it on their behalf and have them make a lot more money as well. And honestly, it's the reason why a lot of our investors end up buying more deals, because they know like we are the real deal. And of course they know that they're in good hands as well, because not only are we sourcing it for them, but we're also going to be managing it for them as well. So we have to make sure that whatever properties we're getting, it's going to work because we're going to be the ones managing it. Now look, I say that to say, if you are someone that is looking to get involved in rent to rents, but you're looking to take a more hands-off approach, meaning you're looking for someone to, not only source the property for you, not only set up for you as well, but to also manage it on your behalf, we can most certainly help you do this. Check the link somewhere around this video, maybe down below in the description box. You'll find out more information about that. But if you're not interested, well,